Hello there, welcome to the basics of Tinkercad. The first thing that you're going to want to do is Google Tinkercad or go to www.tinkercad.com. Googling it takes you right to this link and then you can click on that. You're going to log in using your SBISD Gmail account. You can put student accounts. And then once you get in, you're just going to continue through. All right, now you see the Tinkercad dashboard. So the first thing you want to do is go over to Designs and then click on Create a New Design. And you're going to click 3D Design. This will take you to the work plane, it's called, work plane of Tinkercad. It will always give it a name up here. You can just click on it and change the name. So I'm going to put Demo for mine. You can name it whatever you would like. And then over here, you will see all of your tools. All right, so you have basic shapes. When you want a shape, let's say I want this one. I'm going to pull it over onto my work plane. You can move your work plane around using this little tool right here. You can zoom up on it and zoom out over here. Now, there are boxes around your shape, and each one of these boxes does something different, okay? So this one, you'll see when you click on it that it gives you the little arrows, and then it also gives you the number over here. You can change the number right here to make it a different height, or you can move your shape like this, whichever way you want to do it. That will give you the height on the shape, all right? And then these boxes will change the shape of it. So if I want like a longer circle or I want one like this one will change how skinny or fat it is. You also have a triangle tool right here. This one takes it above and below the plate. You want to have it right on the plate so that you don't want it to be underneath if it's a solid shape. And I'll show you the difference here in a minute. But if it's a solid shape, you want it to be on top of your work plane. Otherwise, it won't print. So you want to make sure that if you mess with this, that it's exactly 0, and that means that it's going to be flat with your work plane. All right, the other thing that you can do, let's say that I want this to be hollow on the inside. I would grab this one over here. If it has these gray stripes, that means that it's going to be a hole. And I would put it right on top of my shape. Now, it doesn't go down inside, so that's what this little tool would be for. You can take it down inside, and you want to make sure that if you want it to be hollow all the way through, that you drag it all the way through. So I'm going to need to make that a little bit bigger and then drag it all the way through. And then when it goes out the bottom, that tells you that this is going to be a tube-like shape. All right, there will be a hole all the way through. Now, to make sure that I have that, and that, because that's how I want it. Let's just say that I want to make sure that the hole goes all the way through. What I'm going to do is grab both of these at the same time. So you're going to hold down on your mouse and drag it around both shapes. You're going to go up here to group, and then it will group those two shapes together, and you will see that this is going to have a hole all the way through it. So that's what that tool would be used for. Then over here, you have several more shapes to choose from. You can do text. You can search for a shape. If you want to do like a heart, you can look that up and you can choose from any of these shapes over here. All right. Also, they have some shapes that look kind of like gears. This might be useful for your Mars project. Okay, then let's see. They also have it broken down by category. So you could check for shapes in that way as well. You can put two shapes together. So if I'm trying to make a building, I might have this be my base, and I might have like this over here on the side. You know, get creative with this because it's in Mars after all. Now, let's say that I want this to kind of attach to the gear, but I don't want it to be underneath the gear, right? Like let's say I want it to be like right here in the middle. I'm going to look to make sure, and it isn't poking through the bottom, so we're good there. And then that's how I want it. So let's say this is how I want my building, and then I'm going to put maybe a top on there like this. Now you'll notice that that is like way far out here in the distance, so I have to bring it in. And you can also do that with the arrows on your keyboard if that's easier. Sometimes that's easier for me. And I'm going to bring it in. I want it to be on top. So you can see right now it's not on top. So I need to bring it up with the up triangle and then bring it over. And I want to make it like the shape similar to my circle. So right now I'm using the little arrows on my keyboard to do that. And I want to make it a little bit more circular like that. And it's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to center it a little bit more. Might not be perfect. Let's make it a little bit bigger this way. Here we go. All right, and then you can tell right there that it's not centered, so I'm just going to move it over with my arrows a little bit to make it more centered. There, that's pretty good. Now, before I export this, what I want to do is trace around it with my mouse so that it selects all three of those shapes, and then I'm going to group it. This would be my little creation. And then you're going to export it. You want to export as an STL file. So you're going to click on this, and it will download it. At that point, you would come to me and you'd say, hey, Missy, I've got my STL file ready, and I will help you with the next step.